Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Tuesday, January 10th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, you can always find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Tuesday in college basketball. First up, it's Florida and LSU. This one's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern start time on SEC Network. Florida's coming off its first SEC win of the season over Georgia, 82-75, and this Gators team has pretty good numbers when you just look at the analytics, and they're number 57 in KenPom. Usually teams that are only 8-7 on the year, 1-2 in conference play, don't crack the top 60 in KenPom, but this team, it takes care of the basketball. They're a good defensive rebounding team, and I do think that they're going to have better results as we get into the middle of conference play. This is a big-time road game. You only got one top 100 KenPom win on the season. If you're the Gators and you're looking to make the NCAA tournament, which does not look likely right now, you've got to be able to pick up these road conference wins. Now, LSU on the other side, they lost 2 straight games now. They lost to Kentucky, a reasonable loss, 74-71 on the road, a very good Kentucky team and a tough place to play. But then you lose last time out to Texas A&M, a winnable game in LSU's eyes, and you lose that game by 13 points. You were down by as many as 17 points, and you were only getting 4.5, 5.5 points, so didn't even come close to covering the number. And that was a game that LSU shot 9 of 22 from 3, 40.6% from the perimeter. That's pretty concerning. You still lose that game by double digits. I do think the Gators are the better team in this one. LSU does have the home court advantage, but I don't think it's going to be enough of an advantage in this game. I like the Gators to earn their second straight conference win and move LSU's losing streak to 3 games. Give me the Florida Gators against the number. I'm going to take them on the money line as well. Next up, we see Oklahoma taking on Kansas. This one's going to be 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Oklahoma's coming off a big-time road win over Texas Tech in their last game. Never an easy place to play in Lubbock, but the Oklahoma Sooners earned a 5-point victory in overtime. But I still think that this Oklahoma team is a tad overrated. I honestly think that them and Oklahoma State are the 2 weakest teams in the Big 12, but a very good conference overall. There's not really any easy games in Big 12 play this year. All the teams right now are ranked inside the top 45 in KenPom, but Oklahoma is one of the weakest teams in college hoops in terms of offensive rebounding. In the conference, they're one of the worst teams in turnover percentage on offense and defense. They don't get to the free throw line much, and this is a team that's really benefited from making a lot of low percentage shots and high percentage rates. But when you're going on the road against Kansas in your second straight road game against a very good defense in the Jayhawks, I just don't really love your chances much. Kansas is playing great basketball on an 8-game win streak. That's the 10th longest win streak in the country right now. And they've taken down some tough teams, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and West Virginia in their last 3. In the non-conference play, they beat Seton Hall, Missouri, and Indiana along this win streak. So they're in great form, 3-0 in conference play. They're coming off a double-digit victory on the road at West Virginia, which is not easy to begin with. They're top 15 in both adjusted offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency. A good turnover team both on offense and defense. They're able to force those turnovers defensively, and they're taking care of the ball on offense. A good rebounding team and a good three-point shooting team as well. I just don't like this matchup for Oklahoma in their second straight road game, so I'm willing to lay the points here, the big number, with the Kansas Jayhawks. Next up, we see Temple and Tulsa in the American Conference. It's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. I do think that Temple and Tulsa are 2 of the weaker teams in the AAC this season, and Temple's coming off another loss to Tulane in their most recent game. It was a double-digit loss at home, 87-76. I have my concerns with this Temple defense, especially when they're playing on the road, and although Tulsa is 0-3 in conference play, I do think if the Golden Hurricanes were going to win a game in conference play this season, it would be a home game against a team like Temple, against a team like SMU, and, overall, Tulsa, a very good perimeter defense right now, ranked 61st in the country in three-point defense. They don't take a lot of fouls defensively as well. I think the big problem for Tulsa has been their defensive rebounding, as they're right now ranked one of the worst teams in the country, 318th in defensive rebounding percentage. But is that going to be an issue against a Temple team that's ranked in the 200s both offensively and defensively in rebounding? They have issues turning the ball over. They also have issues. They don't really force many turnovers themselves. So to me, Temple is not good enough to be favored in this game on the road against any team in the conference. I know they have that big upset win over Villanova and Rutgers, but I just don't think that this Temple team right now is playing like the team we saw at the beginning of the season. And that's why we've seen them lose to teams like Tulane by double digits, and we saw them lose to Maryland Eastern Shore, which is a very, very bad loss to take. You lost that game by 8 points at home. I just can't trust Temple on the road. Give me Tulsa in this spot. I'm going to take them on the money line. Next up, we go to the Mountain West as Air Force takes on Colorado State. This one, 9 o'clock Eastern. Air Force, we saw from them last year where they had a really good start to the season, both straight up and against the spread in non-conference play. Last year, they were 7-1 to start the season, and this year they were 5-3 and 9-4 in non-conference play. But we saw last year, once they got to Mountain West action, the team really started to struggle. They went 4-13, losing. They went on a big losing streak to end the regular season. And, now we see this Air Force team going into Mountain West play this year. They're 0-3, and they have not really looked great offensively in any of those games. Now, granted, they did play 3 of the tougher teams in the Mountain West in San Diego State, Nevada, and Utah State. But I do think this Colorado State defense is underrated. The offense is already in pretty good form. Although they're not a very good offensive rebounding team, this is a good shooting team. They take care of the basketball. They're 15th in two-point field goal percentage as a team, 47th in adjusted offensive efficiency. But the defense has struggled not because of really anything other than teams making a lot of low percentage shots at high percentage rates against this Colorado State defense. I mean, right now they're ranked 263rd in effective field goal percentage defense, but Colorado State's a good defensive rebounding team, top 100 in that stat. They're a pretty good team in terms of forcing turnovers, which is important against an Air Force Princeton-style offense that does cough the ball up quite a bit. Right now ranked 211th in turnover percentage on offense. Last year, 335th. So we know Air Force has some issues taking care of the basketball. They're not a very good rebounding team themselves, and I just don't like this matchup at all for Air Force going up against an underrated Colorado State team we're getting a great price with. Now, is this the Colorado State team of last year where they made that NCAA tournament appearance and it was the 6th seed in the tournament? No, it's not the same team at all. They lost a good amount of production from last year's roster. But I still think this team is a lot better than what people are giving it credit for. I think the same thing goes for Wyoming, another team who had a great season last year. So Wyoming and Colorado State are two teams I'm looking at in the Mountain West that have some value with them. And Air Force is a team I'm looking to fade as they have just not played well in this conference. So give me Colorado State here, laying the number. And the final game we're to talk about for Tuesday's card in college basketball, it's Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan. This one's 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. These are two very similar teams, both ranked they're 316th and 311th in KenPom right now. They're both 351st and 352nd in adjusted defensive efficiency. So defense is optional most nights for both of these clubs. But in this game, I give the advantage to Western Michigan. They are the home team here. They are the better shooting team in terms of effective field goal percentage, and they're the far better team in rebounding numbers. You look at Eastern Michigan, the thing that concerns me the most about this team here, they're ranked 320th in the nation in defensive rebounding percentage. You're going up against a Western Michigan team that's ranked in the top 55 in offensive rebounding percentage. They're also in the top 100 on the defensive end, and Western Michigan's also played a really tough schedule as of late. In 5 of their last 6 Division I games, these are the teams that they played: Dayton, Iowa State, Wisconsin, Kent State, and Toledo. So arguably with Kent State and Toledo, 2 of the tougher teams in the MAC conference, maybe the top 2 teams in the MAC conference. And then some tough teams like Iowa State. That defense is unbelievable this year. Wisconsin's always a tough team to play. Even Dayton this season, who's having a little bit of a down year, is a very tough defensive team. And you held that team to 67 points. So, Western Michigan, I think, is the far better side in this game. We were on Eastern Michigan on the morning show, the Pickdawgz morning show, over CMU in their last game on the money line. But on the road here, where Eastern Michigan has not fared very well, facing a Western Michigan team that, yes, has had its struggles. They gave up 102 points last time out. We were on Toledo in that game. But I think this is a good spot for them to grab that conference win over an Eastern Michigan team that's just as bad defensively, if not worse. So give me Western Michigan. I think the rebounding numbers are going to help them in this one. Give me the Broncos and laying the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.